Great. Well, let's say good morning to Dr. Andrew Ford.
Yeah, good morning to both of you and to all the
Yes.
viewers. I like the tie, the bow
Thank
tie a
you.
lot.
Yeah, I don't know if, anyway.
Thinking of getting one.
Yes, and let us know when you're going to wear your bow tie.
Yeah, I would wear it, definitely.
Okay, so Dr. Ford, we are talking about something called Pseudofolliculitis Barbae. And simply put,
Razor bumps.
there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, yes. Yeah, razor bumps, they've been around for a long time. First mentioned in 1908, and it's a condition that affects predominantly people of color. Maybe 60 to 80% of black men have it. The pseudo part means that it's false, and folliculitis refers to an inflammation of around the hair follicles. So, and the Barbae is a beard area. So this is one case where a long set of terms really makes lots of sense.
But don't women have a challenge too with ingrown
Definitely,
hair?
there
Yeah.
are women with hirsutism or hair in inappropriate or in male distributions, and those that have it on the chin can have it because of all the waxing and plucking and other things that they do.
So if you get an ingrown hair on the face, it's called pseudofolliculitis barbae. What about women who have challenges with bikini lines?
Yes,
It's
well,
something else?
that's pseudofolliculitis, but just in another area. So the
Oh,
Barbae
right, the
part
Barbae.
wouldn't be
That's
there.
the
beard,
beard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless the skin was transplanted, which is unlikely.
So tell us this then. You said it's predominant, Dr. Ford, you're very bad. You're very bad. All right. So you explain to us then why this happens predominantly in persons of color.
Well, we're individuals who have very curly hair, unlike Caucasians and
We have
Indians and
curly
those.
hair?
Yes, our hair tends to curve.
Well, not
so
you.
when you cut a hair, it becomes a very sharp-edged growth out of the skin, and we tend to go parallel to the skin first, and then the hair tends to start to curl, and that sharp edge goes back into the skin. Sometimes it can go from the surface back in, or sometimes if you've been plucking or waxing for a long time, it doesn't even come out, it just starts growing horizontally into the skin. And that is a foreign body reaction which causes all these problems. So you can see, you've seen a few pictures and they're varying severities, but just to say that this is something we see every day, and you can get little bumps, you can get bumps with inflammation, you can get larger ones, and also you can get varying sequelae afterwards, various types of scarring.
This looks really serious, this photo.
Yeah, well, this isn't one of the worst ones, but it's just that almost every hair is involved.
This is the worst you've brought today? Yes?
No, there
No?
are some that look a bit worse, so if you are squeamish, but I think everyone has seen someone with bad ingrown hair
Yeah,
in the
well,
beard area. So,
I suffered with ingrown hair for a while until I discovered a depilatory.
Yeah.
You know, and that was 40 years ago. And
it's fantastic. I mean, look at the results now. I mean,
Yeah.
Doug is looking
I
immaculate
thought he
every
was going
time.
to say until it stopped growing. Anyway.
But the slide before just showed you one of the. There are various sequelae from this condition. This shows you some little scars, depressed scars. Of course, you can have thicker scars because we're individuals prone to keloids, and that's the more a difficult thing to look at. And the discoloration is a big issue, especially for all sexes that get the pseudofolliculitis barbae.
Okay, so the next photo is a little intense.
Yes, the next photo is I chose one that wasn't too bad, but still it makes a point that you can get big swellings on the in the beard area.
All right, now we see it, now we don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what do we do?
Yeah, in a case like that, how do you really deal with that? That
Well,
was quite
that's the
severe.
case. You have to stop the hair from going back into the skin, but you also have to work with the thickened areas. So in that case, that person has an infection going on, so they need antibiotics, either orally or topically. You'd have to be rubbing and scrubbing the skin a little bit with disinfectants and that sort of thing. And they may need either injections of steroids to make the thicker areas go down, and may consider laser hair removal as an ultimate solution for that. But the important thing is maintenance. You know, you have to learn how to maintain your beard. And as Doug mentioned, he found his depilatory cream 40 years ago. What works for one person doesn't work for everyone, because all of us have varying degrees of ingrowth. So we have to pick something that works for us.
Okay. Well, I found out the hard way with the bikini line situation many years ago.
You got folliculitis?
That you need to it helps to remove the hair in the direction that it
Yes,
grows.
yes, definitely. A part of you have to soften the area, warm compresses or warm washes, and you have to kind of massage it. And some people can actually use a kind of a buff puff or something that's
To
rough.
exfoliate a few days before?
And also using things that have alpha hydroxy acid in it or salicylic acid can help to get rid of dryness and delay in growth. Now, as you mentioned, shaving in the direction in which the hair grows is important. And in our case, we don't want to use double and triple blades because the more we cut the hair, each consecutive cut by a blade makes the hair cut a little short. And the key to controlling this when you have this condition is to leave a little bit of the hair out, maybe a millimeter, and not try to go for the closest cut. So that's why sometimes little machines or machines with guards work better, or single blade razors. And they're actually razors that are made for Pseudofolliculistis Barbae that have a part of the blade covered so that you won't get such a close cut. So you shouldn't really be pressing the machine or the blade into the skin heavily. You shouldn't be pulling the skin because all those things make the hair recede more into the opening. And when that happens, there's a greater likelihood of ingrowth. And of course, if for some people depilatory creams don't work, and certainly plucking doesn't work because the opening of the hair gets distorted to such an extent that when the new hair starts to come through, it gets lost, and that starts the process all over again.
It baffles me as to why we haven't found a solution or a cure to this challenge for men of color, given how long it's been around.
Well, the cure is to grow a beard, Doug, and just to keep your beard. So if you have pseudofolliculitis Barbae, you stop shaving and just have a beard, then you're good. Of course, the ultimate treatment is laser hair removal, which eliminates the need to shave.
Well, what about the average person who may not be able to afford the laser treatment? And can you reduce the amount of shaving? What if a job requires that you absolutely remove the hair?
Yes, this is where we get the biggest problem. People in the army or in the police force, they're the individuals who really need, or sometimes individuals who work in hotels, or if your job, as you say, requires that. But you can't shave every day. You have to do some of the things we mentioned earlier, and you have to find your best method. For some people, the single blade or the machine is better. For others, the depilatory cream is better, but you can't shave every day. You have to shave maybe every other day or every third day, and you have to do a lot of maintenance with putting the warm compresses on the beard and giving it its little massage and trying to stop exfoliation. One of the controversial things is should we pick them out or not? And if you're going to remove the hair from into the skin, that's all you should do. You shouldn't be digging into the flesh trying to find it or sticking things into your skin. You just need to put something, you just need to put something right where the hair is and flick it out with so sometimes a toothpick can be used. Or if someone
so you don't need to necessarily cut the hair, you need to just
let
let
it raise it out of the
dislodge
skin.
it. Yeah. So if someone has the time, the inclination, the desire to do that for you, then that certainly can help and reduce it.
They have to be very close to you.
Literally and otherwise.
Exactly.
That's a serious connection.
About women who get beard, because I see some women from time to time with a lot of facial hair.
Yeah, yes. Hormones can really affect things.
And a mustache too.
Yeah.
It happens. See any?
Yeah.
No,
well, that does happen to lots of women. It can be racial, it could be genetic, or it could be hormonal. And in this case, for women, I think the laser hair removal is best. Of course, there's electrolysis, which is another method. And there's also a medicine you can rub on, brand name medicine that inhibits hair growth, which is quite expensive. But you put it on every day, and while you're using it, it reduces the hair growth and the size of the hair. In some cases, hormonal approaches can be used using a form of an oral contraceptive pill that has anti-androgens in it, along with other anti-androgens that can be combined. So there are many methods that can be used to treat it.
You spoke about the size of the hair follicle. Do you think maybe that is also a predisposing factor for our race?
Well, certainly. When you find individuals who are somewhere between, starting to get gray hair, in some of them you find that the gray hair looks a little bigger, and that's the hair that really gives the trouble. But of course, the coarseness and the size and the curvature of the hair, all those things determine if you're going to be a victim of Pseudofolliculitis Barbae or not.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about the laser process. What is that really? What does that mean?
Well, a laser is a machine that converts some energy into light, and that light actually is at a wavelength that the hair absorbs. And by absorbing that light, the hair gets inhibited or killed to some extent. Lasers don't do a permanent death of the hair. They do a permanent reduction, meaning the hair becomes a softer, smaller, the normal hair that you'd see elsewhere that you're not concerned about. And the Nd:YAG laser, 1064 nanometers, is one that's very versatile and can be used for all races, and that's one of the main forms of laser hair removal. There are other methods,
Is
like
it painful?
impulse light. No, it isn't painful. Most lasers come with a little cool jet that comes out at the same time. The older models, you need to get some sort of anesthetic cream, but laser hair removal doesn't require a lot of preparation. Just come into the office. Once you've shaved the day before or 2 days before, you just get the number of little zaps from the laser, and you walk out.
Never see
there's
that hair
nothing.
again?
No, you have to get it done every month for 4 to 8 times on average. So the response will determine how many times you get the process done.
I'm still baffled because all my life, people of color have nappy hair, and you tell me that it curls
Curly.
a lot.
Yeah.
It's just a tighter curl.
a tighter curl.
Yeah.
Not nappy.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. But what about the head? Why, I mean, with all that growth on the top of the head, why don't you get
Yeah, well, some guys do. Sometimes you try a new hairstyle. Let's say you decide to shave it for the first time, and some people present with pseudofolliculitis of the entire head sometimes.
Really?
Or certain areas. But in the head, you can get just a folliculitis on its own, so that does cause some confusion. And some versions of folliculitis are major causes of hair loss in black men. And also, remember, we did see what a type of folliculitis does in the back of the neck last year, where you get the little bumps, which are keloidal bumps in the neck. So the hair is important, a very important part of the skin, and its care is something we have to really look at.
Okay, scar tissue, like even in the areas of the armpit, could that cause also the hair to get lost, and then you have a greater problem?
Yeah, definitely. As the skin gets harder and thicker, that can affect the way it grows through its channel, and that can have an impact as well. But prevention. If you're someone who's prone to keloids, this can be a very significant problem to have, and that's why you have to really control it very well. Because a lot of patients that have keloids may even go on other treatments to make sure that it doesn't occur.
Give us a few quick tips, simple steps to follow to try to avoid this inflamed situation that people can end up with.
Okay, if it isn't necessary, you can grow a beard that you love and appreciate, that's groomed, then do that.
Right.
If not, then you have to massage the beard area and keep working on it every day with exfoliating things, and you need to use a single blade razor. Try not to pull the hair tight, try not to pull the skin, and also try to shave in the direction in which the hair grows, and try not to do over shaving in one area several times.
How do you know the direction?
Well, you have to look at your hair and study it. It grows in different directions, different times. So everybody has to really look at their hair when they have a beard on and get to know how to take care of it. If you need to use anti-inflammatories, you can, and they can take the form of antibiotics. Sometimes we'd use a steroid-based treatment, or sometimes your doctor may use injections. But if you are someone who's prone to keloids and you've tried everything and it isn't working, then you may have to consider removing the hair completely.
Excellent.
Okay.
All
Good
right.
stuff, Dr. Andrew Ford, our
Absolutely.
dermatologist. Certainly appreciate it. I know what to do now. All
It's
right.
good to know.